Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I have two returning favorites. I am here with comedians Brandy and Julie. You guys demanded it. You went into the streets. There were several protests about what you wanted for Juicy Scoop. How has your life changed in the last few weeks?
We cannot possibly even walk down the street with masks on.
Oh,
I can't even put a I put a full burqa on the other day.
Oh, good.
And they're like, Juicy's here. And
Yes.
I'm just like, please give me my space. You know what I mean? It was like that. Like full on. Our lives are just...
If we had known that apparently the entire world listens to this, we never would have agreed to do it. Like,
yes.
the level of celebrities that listen to this, I have IBS over what we're about to do today. I'm like, which one of these motherfuckers watches it? I mean, it's like Meghan McCain.
Meghan McCain was the greatest thing
that ever happened. Also, I just want to let you know that because of doing this, I put an actual shirt on.
Well, you look very cute.
So we had to make sure that we looked okay.
For people that may have possibly missed this episode, we talked about Meghan McCain and how she had blocked Julie, and then we talked about it, and then I remember where I was, much like our parents remember where they were when Kennedy got shot. But I was in my kitchen on my island, and my phone plopped up that she had tweeted me on Twitter.
Wait,
I mean,
I remember where we were like it was 9/11.
Yeah.
We were sitting each on a couch.
Yes, at Julie's.
The phone also the same. It dinged.
No, but it was from Heather to you.
And that's right. It was from you to me. It was like, and then it was like, what? And then scrambled. Look, it was like, make it. And then it was the whole thing of like, she had tweeted at you and mentioned us or whatever about the fact that she listens to her favorite pop culture podcast,
yes,
Juicy Scoop with Heather McDonald, and I'm the name of a segment, blah blah blah, and then because of that, she unblocked me.
I know.
And then we
asked her to. We spent 2 hours doing another tweet, the same thing we did before. We're like, okay, what are we gonna say? Okay, and then it was like, how can we get her to unblock you?
Right, and then we made the thing. And it was just, I don't remember what I said. I would have to look. I was like, please unblock me or whatever, whatever. And she did.
She did. So she is back on the delightful list. Never fell off my list. But back on the delightful list.
I'm back on the delightful list for her.
And she has a good sense of humor.
Yes.
And good for her.
How many celebs listen to this shit? Like, do you know? Like, give us some names that you know for sure. So we have
honestly,
Meghan McCain.
like, I don't know. January Jones does.
She's from North Dakota or South. One of those.
Jill Zarin does, and she's top Patreon. So there's no Patreon episode I can give that she won't listen to.
Okay.
So she knows that. Jill. She goes, I'm not stupid, Heather.
We love Jill.
I'm your biggest supporter. So, no, she's great. So, no, I think people listen, or if they don't, we all know, because I hear about it too when some other person mentions me, our fans and our listeners go, hey, minute 35 of so-and-so's podcast, if you just want to hear about it, like they mention you. And then you're like, okay, that's pretty cool. So I think sometimes they hear about it that way too. But
I think
it was
a
flattering.
lot of celebrities listen for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, today is a fun day because I thought, what can I do fun with Brandy and Julie? And I love to talk about Juicy Scoop history, much like the History Channel that we talk about, World War I or whatever. There are stories that I believe are in the past that are juicy as fuck. Juicy Scoop history. And, we have some younger listeners that may not be aware of every Juicy story. And we don't go that far back. We go back, I kind of told you guys, like the last 15 years of just our juiciest stories. And so we're going to get into them.
Because 2000 to 2005.
No, you could go further back.
Oh, okay.
I just was like, I didn't want it to be like 1975 and Yoko Ono broke up whatever Beatles. I wasn't looking for that.
Right.
I was looking for some of the more obscure things where maybe someone knows this star as this and being married as this person, but they didn't know that 12 years ago they were on the cover of every magazine because of some juicy shit. And that was the kind of stories I wanted to tell today.
Yes. Maybe Juicy Scoop should be like a curriculum. Juicy Scoop history could be a
Yes.
curriculum in schools. You know what I mean?
Hey, I could teach a Zoom class.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's just like it's the history.
That's
Well, I
all
just
we
want
have.
to throw in
Yes.
then in 2003, there was a show called Are You Hot?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I remember Are You Hot?
And Kim Zolciak was on that shit. Okay. And we looked.
She was a contestant?
and she was not, unfortunately. But we when I found
This
out,
is Lorenzo Lamas that had a laser pen, right?
Yes.
And the girl would walk out and he'd be like, I don't know if
Yes.
you're hot because right here there's a little like bulge of fat.
Yes. And the
next
most
level.
the most egregious person, what's that fashion designer's name?
Randolph Duke.
He can die in a fire. And I want
probably
to
listen to
find
this.
him. Good. I hope you do, Randolph. You're a douche. And also, you're an asshole, you're sexist, you're misogynist, and you can die. I have never in my life.
Was this Randolph straight?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't think
Either
so.
way, don't care.
Okay.
I mean, I know that the show
that
is
Heather
about
knows it.
the show
Yeah.
is about like whatever, and I get that that's the point of it. But he was. I wanted to rip my face off, and I wanted to find him. I was like, I'm finding him right now. I'm finding him.
And you
my
remember these
phone.
feelings from 2003 in your heart of
No, we
watching
looked
it?
it up yesterday because.
Oh, you looked it up?
because we were gonna do it, and then I was like, "Great, it's 2003," and then we.
Well, there's not like a rule to
Yeah,
this.
I
I just
don't know.
said, hey, think of some juicy scoop history stories in the past, and then like whatever you bring is great. You guys are like taking it like as if I was a college course or something.
I know. I don't know why.
We're
I
very
was,
serious.
Oh, so it's Kelly's fault. She said 15 years, and you probably thought there were some rules to it, but there aren't any rules to it.
well, anyway, everyone should look. We should
Yeah.
find
Oh
the
my
Kim Zolciak
God.
picture coming down
Yeah.
the runway,
And just the
then-
whole show, it's
no.
on YouTube. You can watch just watch the first episode. You'll die. If this show was on today, people would their heads would explode. They'd be out in the streets. It's unbelievable.
And that's why sometimes when people say on more serious stuff, maybe we shouldn't get rid of these awful pieces of movies and arts because people should remind us of how fucked up we were
Yes.
Oh.
in 1930. But we were also really fucked up in 2003.
We're fucked up yesterday. We're fucked up today. Like there's things. And I agree with you. History is important to learn.
to go, holy
Wow.
shit. Yeah, to go, what is up
Wow.
with this?
ABC
Yes.
is wiping it off YouTube
Oh my
this
God.
minute.
And that's
they are
it.
like, get it off before.
They're like, thanks for reminding us, Juicy Scoop. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
I
Our
mean, it
entire
was on
network is canceled.
ABC.
Of course.
It was a primetime show.
It's just amazing. Okay, so that's why we have a lot of these stories that are going to blow our millennial listeners and younger's heads open wide. Okay, first of all, some fun stuff. We all remember the famous photo of Paris Hilton, Britney
best.
Spears, and Lindsay Lohan having a fun night out. Now, what I remember from this is a lot of no underwear crotch shots that were happening coming out of the car. And there was a lot of wondering, is this on purpose? Do they not know? Now, I've talked about this before. I don't mean to brag, but my mom sent my sister and I to John Robert Powers Modeling School at the Westfield Mall right here in Woodland Hills, summer between my, I think, 7th and 8th grade year. And in that class, there was an etiquette class, and you learned how to get in and out of a car. And the way you do that, people, is, okay, here's the car seat. Okay, get in, sit in, and then you swoosh the legs together over. Now the car door is open. You don't go like this. You don't. You lean back, swish it over, stand up, no crotch shots. Not even a paparazzi could get that, okay? Not even a paparazzi could get that. So the question was, did they do it? I always thought, this is my theory, and then let's hear your theory. I think that Britney was a vulnerable person back then. And I think Paris was the queen of marketing. I think they had a little quick friendship. She came over and she was like, oh my gosh, Britney, that you have an underwear line and you should just take off your underwear. No one will see it. It'll look good. She's like, okay. And you know, her whole life, who knows? A lot of people think people were telling her to take off her underwear as a child. Okay. Like a lot of deep, dark, what the fuck happened in Hollywood? Why were you,
And
hey,
at John
baby,
Robert
baby.
Powers Modeling School.
And so, yeah, and did it happen at John Roberts Modeling School? Obviously, she missed that day of class. But what do you think went down with this friendship and not wearing underwear?
Well, I think that, like the sex tapes, one person, and surely, clearly it was Paris, who's a bald eagle, as you do. I am as well.
Okay.
She got
I
out-
am not.
She got
Very bushy.
On brand though, right? So
Full.
she got out of the car one time. The bald eagle looking great was there, and then it was like they all did it. I think they all copied.
Got it.
I mean, I don't understand why they're not in underwear, but sometimes you can see the thong, and then that's almost more provocative.
Yeah.
You know, don't you feel weird when your thong line is showing? It's like, ew.
Also, no one ever says the word thong anymore.
Yeah, what do
that
we
thong,
say?
the thong. Also, my kids are really disturbed when I go, come on, just put on a pair of thongs, meaning like flip-flops. They're like, what is wrong? They're like, why don't you get your backpack, Mom? Are you 90? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I just...
What are you supposed to say?
Or
What's
book
the right
bag.
word?
I think I don't know what is the older word, book bag,
Oh, book
or
bag is good.
or backpack. I don't.
Book bag.
I think I say book bag and they die over book bag, and you're actually supposed to be backpack. Whatever.
Get
So,
your book bag, kids. You're going over to school.
Sadly, no one needs a book bag anymore.
Yeah,
You
that's
It is
that's
sad.
true.
just go to your.
I think they
class.
copied the because it was so popular, and they'll do
Yeah.
anything to get
Attention.
yeah.
Yeah.
And in the paparazzi, they
Yeah.
want those pictures.
And then they just dumped. Like then they dumped. Like no one was friends again after. Like that was the one time they went out and ripped it. And Paris is behind the wheel. She's sober. She's the one who got them not to wear underwear.
She also did
she
get
was the
2
ringleader.
DUIs or one. So we aren't
Well,
clear.
she got a couple, right?
Yeah.
And then she did the 13 hours in prison, or not even 45 minutes, I think it was for her.
Genius.
Oh,
I
remember-
love Paris.
And remember, I just remembered this. It was Nicole Richie who went up the off ramp the wrong way, which is one of my biggest fears. Like I have like nightmares sometimes where I'm like, oh my God, I'm going up the wrong, like going
First
up
of
the
all,
opposite direction.
She was in the Val in Glendale
Yeah.
at the husband's house, the now husband. Okay. They live in Glendale. Good
Oh,
Charlotte.
the twins?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I thought was interesting. And she went on the 134. Not only did she get on the on ramp, she drove the wrong way on the freeway. I don't know why I thought it was in the carpool lane, but maybe not because I don't know if there's one on the 134. Stoned on Vicodin. But she
Yeah.
said she wasn't drinking. She drove on the freeway fully at like 3 a.m, all the way down the 134.
All the way down all the way down. Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
she got pulled over on the actual freeway.
Yeah. Well, I want to let you know that we were in downtown LA the other day, and I also did that, and I wasn't drunk or anything.
Just a one-way street.
It was a one-way street.
Oh, that's nothing. That's not the freeway.
That's true. That's true. But it is scary when
Well,
you're like,
Barbara-
holy fucking shit, I'm going down the fucking wrong road. I'm like, like you're
Barbara Streisand, I think in a recent interview, said that she did that. And people are like, you have Alzheimer's. I'm like, well, tell Nicole Richie that. 'cause
yeah,
she was...
and also sometimes the streets are confusing. You know what I mean?
Anyway, a lot of people were disturbed when Nicole Richie then got really thin, and they all thought she was anorexic.
I wasn't.
But
I love that. I miss that.
Well, then she said, no, I was fat before, and that wasn't my regular body type because I was doing so many drugs, and I was on the road doing the simple life. And once I got off, alcohol and drugs, this is my natural, skinny Rachel Zoe body that I'm supposed to have.
Right, on Adderall and stuff. Now, her full side swept bang
Yeah.
at that time, remember she got thin, did the short hair, did the side sweep. That is my favorite period of time because we also have Mary Kate.
Are we
and
talking about
Ashley.
Nicole Richie?
Nicole
Okay,
Richie.
yeah.
Mary Kate and Ashley, anorexic, smoking, huge Starbucks this big.
Yeah.
Like huge Starbucks, smoking, huge glasses. They look homeless but hot. I
Yes.
love that whole period. Love. I wish Nicole Richie still looked like that.
You like the hanger with a way too big of an outfit. Long. I remember watching Rachel Zoe, and I'm like, I've never thought to wear a long dress out in the day with a fur vest. But I was like, but it looks good.
And a
Could I
huge
do?
hat.
But unless you're literally a size 000,
Which you are.
no, I'm too tall. That maxi dresses are not my jam. It does not look good. But when I see it on someone like her, I was like, I like it. And then, I mean, what a surprise! We're now on Rachel Zoe, but like, I never thought like her life would work out the way it did. I mean, she was with that husband that seemed a little. I'm just going to say, maybe not that into her. They're still married. She was
Roger.
able to give birth.
Roger.
How was she able to fucking give birth? I
And then
honestly
she
sent
looked-
a tweet and I was like, I was hurt. I was like,
No, she
That-
gave birth. She filled up her face because when the show first started, fillers hadn't been invented, and she looked very thin, and so
Maybe
her
that's where the
face.
sperm went. in the face.
She has
and the
jizz?
face. Yeah, maybe what
No.
happens when you're that skinny is the sperm goes
But
in
can
the
we
face.
just give props to Rachel Zoe? That is someone that used a reality show to perfection.
Yeah.
She didn't lose her marriage. She was able to be a mom, and she went and became a national brand.
Huge.
And she didn't have to keep doing that show. And she could. It was like the most perfect blueprint plan of how to make it work.
She bore Brad Goreski from that show.
Yes,
I
she
mean,
did,
he
yeah.
went and like he got huge, and
Yeah.
he had his whole big, huge career, and is doing like living the dream life right now. Like
yeah,
that
good
show
for,
really,
good
yeah,
for them.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lindsay Lohan then went on to, this was another great time in my life, is when she had a little bout with lesbianism. She had
As we do,
She had a light
we have
case.
a bout with it.
It was
we
a-
try,
it was a
we
light
try,
case.
We try.
Yeah, exactly. It was diet.
This
She
is
was
what
diet gay.
happens when it, like COVID, when people die from it. This is what happens when it just you're completely diseased, just completely.
Yeah, you're completely.
I'm COVID-19 with an intubator.
And she's that girl that's like, I couldn't believe I must have had it back in January.
Yeah.
But I do remember not feeling really good for about 3 days.
Just nothing. I had a cough. I had a cough.
Or
I didn't
she's
even feel-
asymptomatic,
Oh
really.
yeah, I just have the antibodies. I don't know, and I'm like, I'm dying of lesbianism.
She just had to take a little bit of zinc.
and that
Good
was
to
it.
go.
That was it. God.
DJ Samron said, "Oh, did they fight? Did they fight? Always getting in fights at the nightclub. I remember I got so excited. I think I was leaving Jerry's Deli, and Jerry's Deli in West Hollywood. It was next to a place called Guys or something. And it was
Yep.
kind of a nightclub.
That's where I feel like that's where they were in
They
the car.
were always there.
Yeah.
So I go, holy shit, it's DJ, Sam Ronson, and Lindsay Lohan. And I fucking followed them along with the paparazzi, like heart beating, and she zoom in because Sam's, going to protect her woman. And
It's like, we got to get the car in, Linz. Let's
Yeah.
go. Come on.
then,
Never looked better, though. Never looked better.
yes, I mean, that was when she was really looking cute and fun. But
I want to say a side note on the car
yes,
shot.
yes.
Keep hitting that.
Scoot
Yeah.
Who's talking about it? Okay. Number one, she got in the car with Paris and Britney. Okay?
Yes.
They didn't want her there. There's a and
Oh,
then
going
there's,
back to this. Okay, hold
yeah,
on.
I just
yeah,
want you to,
go on.
they didn't
go.
want her there. So that's why they look okay. She's into it. She just got in the car. See how see how she's in the middle?
By the way, completely illegal to have two people in the front
Right.
seat.
Because
Okay, go on.
she scooted in.
Like, no
Yeah.
one asked for you. I don't have any underwear on. No.
So then there's another shot that we watched recently, okay, of Paris and Brandon Davis, and I think he recently died. Did he? I think
Yes.
he might have recently died.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So they're walking down Sunset, and Brandon Davis is calling Lindsay Lohan a fire crotch. Okay?
Right.
And Paris is dying laughing, and
That was
Nikki's
a
there
classic
too.
moment.
It's
Yeah.
the best.
If that was today, that would be a TikTok video with 20 million views.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
and Paris would get canceled.
Yeah, everyone would be canceled. Nobody, I think prior to 2017 probably would be not canceled.
Yeah.
Every single person would be canceled because
The
of
fire
what's going
so
on
the
now.
fire crotch was that she just had red pubes.
And red skin. He said she was not black or white. She was red.
Okay.
He went off.
And
he wouldn't stop.
Even Nikki Hilton was
yeah, they were
dying.
laughing.
And
Wait,
you know, she's
was-
not-
Yeah.
Brandon Davis is the one that died, or Gummy Bear died?
I think I
The
honestly
big one,
thought
right?
Gummy Bear is the one that had all the health issues.
Oh, well, he definitely died.
Yeah.
Maybe the other
Kelly's
guy
on
didn't
it.
I
die.
don't know why I thought Brandon Davis.
And then
recently
I've
died.
said this before, but I went to school with his aunt, with their
Really?
aunt. Yes.
They're
and
really
she was
rich,
so
right?
wealthy, and she everyone's like, are you going to go to Dana Davis's party at the nightclub tonight? And she was in a different sorority than I was in, like a year or two older than I am. And I'm like, how do you become friends with this girl that can like rent out a nightclub? And I kept like coming around and being like, hi, and she was just like, who are you? And then the juicy scoop there was she got supposedly engaged to this hot SAE that she was dating, and her parents were suspicious, and they had a detective follow him, and he was cheating, and the marriage was off. That's the rumor.
Jesus.
That's the rumor.
Damn.
because they're
Because
oil tycoons,
They're
right?
so much money.
Yeah.
But she went on to, I looked her up the other day. She has a shoe line, and she was sick with like diabetes. So she had a shoe line that was like fashionable, but for people with diabetes. And
What would
and
you
then
think
she
that
did a
would
lot
be?
of charity work, and she lives in Colorado. Okay.
My shoes remind me of sugar. Like, what would it be?
I don't know.
Shoes.
Obviously, I'm not going to be invited to her birthday party this year either.
Now, was she? Were you a Pi Phi? I just need to know.
Gamma
right?
Phi, Gamma
Okay.
Phi.
Okay. And what was she?
Theta.
Okay.
Which was the old money. Theta was old money,
Yeah.
Pasadena money. DG at SC was all Newport.
Okay.
Pi Phi was a mix of hotness.
Kappa. How are they? I'm a Kappa.
Mix of hotness.
Okay.
But brunettes were welcome.
Okay.
There were only certain houses where brunettes were welcome. That
Okay.
that was the diverse hire back then. If you had brown
Brunettes
hair and brown
welcome.
eyes, okay.
The only pretty ones.
Yes, yes. So anyway, okay, this was one of, again, I remember where I was when this story broke. Sandra Bullock found out that Jesse James, her husband, who was a star in his own right on cable, he was this hot tattooed guy that would like redo rides, okay? And when she married him, people were horrified. And I remember being like, not horrified. I thought it was kind of hot. I'm like, he has his own career. He, he was part of that whole Long Beach choppers kind of like hot, like you're
Right.
near the beach, but you're also a gang member. Like it was
Yeah.
kind of like, what is going on
Yeah.
here? Okay. And I didn't understand why people weren't happy, but they're like, she's America's sweetheart. How could she be marrying this tattooed guy? And I remember being at Chelsea lately and hearing about it. And I'm like, Chelsea, I heard Sandra Bullock's husband is like a cheater. And then it came out In Touch exclusive. And
Oh, wait,
this
you
was
just heard it from a friend?
exclusive. I heard it. I saw it somewhere online or something.
Okay.
And then the exclusive came out on In Touch with the girl that had complete and total receipt. She was going to the shop every day. She was a porn star and she was fucking him on his couch. He had a fucking couch in the office of West Side Chop or whatever it
Yep.
was. I don't know if it was West Side Choppers. I want to say that's somebody else, but it was whatever his thing was. And it exploded. And then they all started to come out. And there were so many women. And it was so sad because Sandra Bullock was madly in love with him. She thanked him
Yep.
when she won her Oscar.
That was like
the
a week
story
before
broke
or something.
Yes, the story broke. The story broke literally the next week, and because she won for The Blind Side, and so it was crazy. And he always dated kind of not debutantes, okay?
Like a porny lady.
Yes, and
I
so
remember that girl. What she looked like to a T.
his baby mama was a really successful, like vivid tattooed porn star. And they had a daughter named like Sunny or something.
Yep.
And Sandra Bullock was really into Sunny, but Sandra Bullock was also going to court with him, trying to get custody, being that wife that's like, oh my God, he's the best dad in the world. The mom is a mess. Let me do what I can for Sunny. And everybody's on her side. Oh my God, get Sunny away from this horrible porn star. Meanwhile, he's cheating fucking everything in sight.
And weren't they adopting her
They were
little...
they were in the process of adopting the son,
Right.
who then they went forward with, but she didn't obviously have his name on once the baby came, he was no longer part of that adoption, though he was supposed to be.
Right. It
Yeah.
was like she got that little son, like I felt like right away, kind of.
And that was also really juicy because there was a lot of stuff about him like having Nazi photos and being like
That's what I
a
remember.
little bit
That's
white
right.
supremacist
That's
and
what I
racist,
remember.
and they were adopting a black child
Yeah.
from New Orleans
Yeah.
named like Jackson or something.
That's
I don't
what
know.
I thought. Because I remember the whole thing came out, and I was like, "Who's surprised that this is going on?"
The
but
cheating.
then,
Yeah.
yes, but
It was
then
like the girl had a Nazi tattoo or
then
something.
that came
Yes.
out. Then it was the
Okay.
Nazi stuff, and I was like, "What?"
No, and there was something
What
in
the
his
hell's going on?
office.
He had like
And-
Nazi paraphernalia.
Yeah.
And I think that he even had to come out and be like, it's just like, just a collector and stuff or whatever.
It's history.
Like,
Just
Well,
like
I
it just
mean,
it's history.
It's just
Well, we
scoop
can say
history.
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock did see that. She'd been to the office.
100. Yeah.
I don't know that she had been to the office.
Oh, really?
I don't think she was really. I think she was like, "Hey, we've all dated that guy or girl or whatever. That's not our type, okay?" And you're just like, you know what? Fucking can hang. I like to camp. And then you're like, why the fuck am I camping? And so I think that she was kind of like that. Like, this is fucking hot. I think he had a big ass dick. They called it the white elephant. All the hookers. Oh, not the hookers. Sorry, I apologize. All the girls he cheated with called his
Some of
dick
them were hookers.
the white elephant. So, meaning elephant, I guess, is a large animal. So it was a big dick. And I think it's like it was hot. She,
Sandra Bullock gets down. I mean, let's not forget she dated didn't she date old Ryan Gosling when they did that movie?
Yes, and didn't she also date some other young guy when she was supposed to be like the boss, the proposal or something? Didn't she date
Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
Did she date Ryan Reynolds?
I think she did.
I don't know.
Well, dare I say now, in my personal opinion, which means nothing about men, she's married now, I think, right? To a new guy.
I don't think she ever married.
Or they're together?
But they're together. He's a hot photographer.
I think that guy is one of the best looking men that I've seen
he's
photographed
gorgeous.
in this town.
And I think,
Wow.
yeah. I think she adopted a daughter too, and I think that she adopted these kids in her late 40s. And I mean, I think she's a great actress. I hope she's doing other things.
Love.
But I think she kind of was just after all of this, she got her Oscar. I think she was just I don't need to be falling in heels anymore out of frame. I don't need to get on a treadmill and run and
she
be
found a salt
distracted
and
out of
pepper
frame.
gentleman who looks
And
good.
he wasn't out to try to be famous or screw people. So far, so good. They
Yeah.
had some big ranch in Texas or something.
God bless. Good for them.
Yeah,
Good for
but
her.
I wish she got with Keanu Reeves, but that's just me.
yeah.
I mean, that was always my dream for her.
Right.
In Speed, and then Speed 2, where it was a
then
boat. It was a speedboat that
But
went.
that wasn't him. That was Jason Patrick.
Oh, and then they couldn't find the key to stop the boat.
But then remember, they did that other movie where they were in different.
The Lake
time.
House. It's called The Lake House. Yeah, I did love Keon with her together
Yeah.
too. I wanted them together too.
course.
But the Lake House, they just could never. But they would send each other letters, and he'd open the letter, and then she'd be there, and then she'd read a letter, and then he'd be there. But they never could twain to meet, like Lady Hawk.
In Lake Hawk. In
Lady Hawk.
Oh, in the Lake
You know
House.
that? Well, yeah.
No.
Okay.
But with him, he did go on to marry another girl, again, much more his type.
A porn star.
No, but
Oh.
like tattooed, and she was a race car driver that was tattooed, very attractive, but
that's
in
cool.
that kind of culture. And then, and I don't know if they're still together, but I don't know what happened to Sunny. I definitely don't think she keeps in touch with Sunny anymore, or whatever the little girl's name is. Not that that's her fault. Anyway, there we go. Another cheating, dramatic thing that happened. Do you remember this one? Meg Ryan cheated on her husband at the time, Dennis Quaid, with Russell Crowe, because they were doing a movie about where she played a woman whose husband was missing, and
they were in another.
yeah, they were in a guerrilla warfare type of place.
Yeah, it was all jungly.
Oh wait, sorry, Kelly did her work. Okay, it was proof of life.
Oh, that's right. And he was
And-
hired to find. He was
He was hired to find him,
yeah.
and in it they have her character has an affair. In real life, she supposedly had an affair with Russell Crowe. People were very upset. She was married to Dennis Quaid. They had an 8-year-old son named Jack. People were very upset that, again, America's sweetheart was cheating, okay? And with someone that, again, was a little less clean cut than our Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid is gone. I think he just got married and had a baby at 65. I don't know what his story is, but it's not like he suffered, okay?
Well, and I'm
No.
quite sure he cheated on her. And also, let's just not forget, or in addition to maybe BTW,
Here comes Julie with the lesbian thing.
What?
I think she got with Sally Hershberger.
Because Sally Hershberger's that famous, and she.
I met her at a fashion police thing on E. She does the hair and
She did her hair. She's famous for doing Meg Ryan's hair. The reason that Meg
that
Ryan is famous with that hair
That
is
shaggy
because of
cut.
Sally Hershberger, who's a huge les. She might even be more diseased with COVID les than me. And I think they hooked up and did a little something.
I mean, that's always been the rumor in the.
Can
gay
I say
community.
why I think the rumor could be true? Has anyone really studied Meg Ryan's walk?
Oh, is she
The
giving
way
you
she walks. Oh my God. Okay, now Harry Met Sally is one of my favorite movies. But, I didn't know if she was walking like that because her co-star was such a petite person.
Billy Crystal?
Billy Crystal. I mean, when you watch that and you talk about people's waistlines back then, even everyone was just so tiny, and so he's like that. We're then they're at the sharper image, and he's singing that song. And his waist is so small, and I just thought she had to wear these manly clothes because that's what was in at the time. But then this other actress that I met when I was a realtor, she goes, "What's up with Meg Ryan's walk?" And then it never left my head. That's very yeah.
I
Right,
remember
she's giving
in-
you I
But
love
now
Russell
she's-
Crowe.
But okay, with your whole theory, I disagree.
Okay.
I think she's true and blue straight, and she's with Teddy Mellencamp's dad.
John
Cougar
Mellencamp.
Mellencamp?
John Cougar Mellencamp.
Yes, that's who Meg Ryan is with still.
A little ditty about
Jack
John and Meg.
Little ditty.
I hate that song.
About John and Meg.
Okay.
Maybe she's scissored with Sally Hershberger, but we don't know.
Teddy Mellencamp can't talk about them. People say she's living in her dad's shadow.
Well, I'll say this, and this is some juicy scoop.
Oh,
Thank you.
Because I'm not
Stop.
even scared. I'm not even scared.
Don't be
I know you're
scared.
not scared. Go ahead.
Okay, remember when Melissa Etheridge was married to...
One of my favorite stories ever.
Tammy Lynn
my
Michaels.
favorite lesbian story ever. Go on. Yeah.
So, Tammy Lynn Michaels Etheridge, I'm pretty sure, now, I do drink a lot, and I do a lot of drugs. She did, and she got us very stoned, and we couldn't leave her house.
Wait, hold on.
That's a whole nother story.
So the two of you are at Melissa Etheridge's house while she's married to Tammy, who was the girl on Popular.
Yes.
Yes. who's
And
so
at
funny
this
on top of
time, Melissa Etheridge had her 2 kids
Yes.
with her first wife, who
Yep.
was married to Lou Diamond Phillips,
Yes.
and they got sperm
Correct.
from the singer
Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Nash. And they had that big People article where they're like, this is the dad of our kids. And then when she married Tammy, they also got his sperm, right?
No.
No, they got different sperm. Okay, so then they get divorced because Lou Diamond Phillips' ex-wife and her first wife, she decides she's not gay anymore. So then she marries this cute blonde from the show Popular on CW that everyone's like shocked that she was a lesbian. And then they get married and their vows are, Tammy Lynn goes, I promise to always be a lesbian for you. Ha, ha, ha. Fuck you to Lou Diamond's ex-wife, okay? They get 2 more kids. Tammy carries them.
Yes.
Yes.
During that time, the kids are born, and you guys get invited to come over for cheese. How did that happen?
Oh, we have
That's a
never
whole-
told you the story?
That's
No.
a whole different story.
Oh, my God.
Well, basically, Melissa wasn't there, but we did go back when Melissa was there, and we did hold the Oscar because we recreated this whole thing because basically that was also when Melissa had the cancer.
Yeah.
Right.
And there was a full smoking pot room, okay?
And this was before pot was legal.
Yes.
And though we love, but it was legal if you have cancer.
Right.
And though we love drugs, we don't really do like a lot of pot because that's
We can't do it anymore.
it's just too
can't
easy
do
to
it.
overdose.
Can't do it. Panic, anxiety. Just can't
Stick
do
to
it.
Melissa. Go on. No one cares.
so there's a huge
no one cares about your blueberry pot story. or
there's a
whatever.
huge wall of bongs
Yeah.
in the and then Tammy Lynn busts out a crystal clear clean bong, which you do. And who's going to smoke out of a
Glass.
bong? We haven't smoked. Yeah, glass with a
like,
pharmaceutical name on it, and packs it up. And we're like, Julie's like, I'm not going to do it, and I'm like, yes, you fucking are.
Do whatever she wants you to fucking
Yeah.
do.
So we share a bong hit.
Okay.
She does.
So this is straight up peer pressure at 35 or whatever, however old
yeah,
we were at the time.
exactly.
Go on.
I'll do anything Brandy tells me to do.
Well,
Okay.
also, we'll do anything Tammy Lynn tells us to do, and I do want to do the drugs out of Melissa's cancer bong. So, also, they had 2 toilets next to each other, too, and one of
Yes.
them wasn't a bidet. I
Right.
forgot about that.
No,
In
yeah,
the
I'll never
same
forget it.
room.
But it was also
What do you
a
mean? Like they
weird
could
room.
only shit on their own toilet?
But
They
it was
didn't wa-
next to each other. Why would you need 2 in the same room?
It was a weird room
That
too.
is
It was
very
more like
weird.
a closet, and maybe there was a broom in there. It was like it wasn't a full bathroom. It was like a room. Am I crazy? Or
It was a room
high?
just with 2 toilets.
It was
and
a
yes, you were high.
room with 2 toilets.
Okay. That is very odd.
Yeah.
Who have
Now-
you ever next to someone?
I mean, the only time I've seen it is when I had a
So
friend who
lesbian.
was had identical twins that were learning to shit for the first time. It's a potty training thing, but those are portable, and you don't keep those when you're 40.
Right. Well, I
yeah,
just
those
keep
are
thinking
full-grown
like, there's nothing more. Yeah, those are full-grown toilets. I mean, when the cliche of lesbians can't get any worse than 2 toilets sitting next to each other. How codependent do you have to fucking be?
Yeah.
So
So we share a bong hit. Julie takes the first one. I just do the remnants in the thing. We got violently too high. We couldn't leave. I couldn't leave. I couldn't
Okay,
leave
so
her.
then what happened?
she was. I just.
But
let me
Melissa's
paint
gone.
the
She's on the
picture.
road. Where is she?
We don't know where she is. I thought we were so high.
Where are the kids? Where are the 4 kids?
They're there.
No, the twins, not the older kids.
No, but the
oh,
two
the older,
little
maybe
kids
the
were
older
there.
Kids were there, and
I'm sure they had a nanny. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was a nanny. Yeah.
Okay.
She's on the floor with a pillow over her head. With no shoes on. I'm.
Brandy is.
Because you don't
With one of the children's blanket.
level that we were high. We were too high.
I don't do pot for that same reason. I had a
Right.
bad experience on brownies, and it never went back.
Now
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
We haven't either.
ever again.
And people are like, no, it's different now. You should try.
No.
Or go to this fancy store, and if your neck hurts, you can have this blueberry or whatever. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm good. Like, I don't. Why fuck with it? Like, go
the
ahead.
level that we were overdosed. I was so high. It was like, where is God? My dad never loved me. Like that. And Julie's like, please get up.
I was like, Melissa Etheridge is in a panic room watching us. They're going to rape us. And then
Because she asked us to go. She goes, you guys want to go swimming? Because she's fine.
She's
Tammy Lynn.
fine. So she literally, now, and I'm sitting up, she's laying down, and I'm just like trying to be like, no, I don't, and then, do you want to go swimming?
She goes, I have T-shirts you guys can wear. Do you want to
get in the bed?
No.
Do you want to like lay down? No. Do you? Well, you know what? You should have some chocolate. I don't want any chocolate. And then it'll help you come down. Okay. And then it just kept going and going. You guys can spend the night. No. And then
how did you get home? Was this back? Had Uber even been invented?
And by the way, that's I think also in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's in Hidden Hills.
Okay.
They had all this. Oh my God! I had a brand new car.
Yeah.
I had an SUV that was a stick shift. Okay. When have you ever? And like
were you able to drive home?
Julie had to drive. That was hours later. I mean, we couldn't leave. I made her sit in the driveway for at least an hour, and they turned off all the lights.
How fucked up is that? So we went. So we were like, no, we're not gonna spend the night. And then I finally had the chocolate, and I was like, we're gonna go now. And then got her up. We went to the car, got in the car, and just sat in the car and cried, literally. And then she shut the lights off
even
when
on the
we
front.
were in the driveway.
Of the home, you mean?
And
we didn't even have lights.
They had a circle driveway, a half moon or whatever, and it was all this construction. Like, I'm like, what are they fucking building a moat? And then all the lights are off. We can't even see how to get out of there.
All right, so we had to sit there for an
Couldn't
hour.
you turn on the car and you'd have headlights?
Yes, but
there
it was like
tons of construction.
Okay, all right. So, first of all, how did you ever meet her in the first place?
we contacted her because we wrote a script.
Okay.
Yeah, but basically, here's what she said. Here's the juicy scoop. I forgot. What were we talking about? Oh, Tammy Lynn told us that now Tammy Lynn, some might say, maybe Melissa, that she could be maybe a compulsive liar. So we don't know if this is true.
Okay.
She did tell us that Meg Ryan and Sally Hershberger, love to munch each other's box.
Oh, okay.
So to speak.
Yeah.
She told us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's
not that it was a lifelong, that it was like a passing thing.
All alleged, all a rumor.
Yeah.
Okay.
All alleged,
I like
all rumor.
pretty good juicy scoop there. I mean, we did get it from another Les.
Right, who was with all the power Les, because she was at that point with Melissa Etheridge. And then when we went back, Melissa Etheridge then told us after we had done this thing, and then we had to go back, we had to whatever.
We reenacted it.
We reenacted this whole thing for this stupid thing that we made that didn't go anywhere. And then Melissa Etheridge was there, and she was like, heard what Tammy did to you. She loves doing that.
Getting you super high, you mean?
We were like, what? She's like, yeah, she did it to our housekeeper. I can't even tell you. We had to put a blanket over her head and walk her around the backyard for 3 hours. And she kept saying, adios mío, adios mío. Like literally.
Well, then for people that don't know, Melissa, very fortunately, she recovered from her cancer.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then somehow, the rumor is, started having an affair with the woman who married them.
Oh, I thought it was her yoga instructor.
Oh,
Was it? Am I right? I don't know.
Interesting.
And Tammy found out, and became a very a big scandal divorce. Melissa twice divorced. Now she's got 2 sets of kids. Mm-hmm. But I think Melissa then went on to marry that girl, or they're together.
I think they did get married. If she hasn't been remarried, I want to say even maybe 2 more times. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. And I think that sadly did one of her kids die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to bring it down.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's awful.
You can.
Well,
she
does have a pot
sad.
farm now called Etheridge Farms, which I think is hilarious.
That's a great name, by the way. It's like Petridge Farms.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So she's definitely like, because she was, that really helped her through her cancer.
Yeah. Yeah. And she couldn't have been nicer. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I always just thought it was like, wow, this is just like her love life. And then I always said, it's interesting when someone gets through cancer, sometimes they are like, thank God for my life partner. They were so wonderful. And other times they're like, you know what? Life's short. I almost died, and I don't want to spend another day with you, fucker.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
I've had other friends where their husbands, they really realize, like, 20 years of marriage, like, you know what? You weren't great. Like, really? I did, like, you weren't even picking me up from chemo. Like, you were not. And then other people were like, wow. So it's kind of not saying that was the case, but with them, it sounds like they had other issues. Does sound like they were not a compatible match at the time for a lifetime, but
I mean,
whatever.
Tammy also told us, and since we're going to get sued anyway,
No.
she also told us that, Angelina Jolie and
Jenny Shimizu.
I mean, Brad Pitt and Melissa Etheridge were like really close friends, which
right.
Because Jennifer Aniston was in the Come to My Window video, I think. She was in one of Melissa Etheridge's videos when Brad Pitt. So they were like really close.
I think they are still close.
Well, they are maybe now again because supposedly, according to Tammy, Angelina came between them and didn't let their friendship continue. But now maybe
Angelina came between Brad and Melissa.
Right.
So totally.
So now that they're maybe since they broke up, maybe he's back.
I always loved that Brad Pitt's mom still was seeing Jennifer and calling her on her birthday. Like when you love your first daughter-in-law more than the second. Woo! That tells you some shit.
Yeah.
And then for that to all blow up. But of course we all know that Angelina Jolie messed around with women. That was that's not a secret that she was with
that's
that.
great.
Yeah, my favorite part of the movie Gia, which she starred in as the supermodel. Again, shocking that this was one of the first supermodels with brown eyes. That was a big deal, by the way. They always had blue. And Gia had brown eyes, and even though Angelina has blue, she played her, and the character was a lesbian too. The person Gia was a lesbian, and in the HBO made-for-TV movie or whatever it was, she gets together with this makeup artist who's a very feminine lesbian who has a boyfriend and everything, but they have sex all night, and then the lesbian makeup artist wakes up and is like, oh my god, I don't know if I'm really a lesbian, let me leave. And then Angelina Jolie goes running after her, and she's naked, and she goes, don't go, and there's a chain link fence, and her tits go through her tits go through the chain link fence. And I was like, that is the fucking hottest thing I've ever seen. Just nip, just
literally. Julie's like, I'm getting that.
I'm gonna watch that one again because I don't even remember. I mean, I remember Gia because I was because when anything, any gay thing, certainly 10 years ago.
She was a heroin addict. She got AIDS.
Yeah,
and
she died.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna go.
But she goes, don't. She's like, don't leave, and she's just naked, and she's like, don't. And she squished up the. Or maybe it wasn't when maybe the nipple part happened before they had sex. Anyway, it's right around when she's getting her makeup done by a blonde girl who then she fucks. So
I'll let you know. I'll watch it and I'll DM you. I'll be like, here it is, screenshot.
I mean, we have to. It's just so good. Okay, moving on to our next juicy story. This also shocked the world. And I was trying to explain to Kelly, my young producer here, people were absolutely horrified when Julia Roberts.
What would you have to explain to Kelly? Take a gander, and I think it's clear.
She hadn't seen the photo. I go, another great story is when Julia Roberts married Lyle Lovitz, and the world was horrified because to them he was a monster. He was the ugliest guy they'd ever seen. And they're like, how is Pretty Woman the most beautiful? And it was literally, there are articles Pretty Woman marries country monster. It was people were so upset. And I was and I kind of remember going, God, he is a country singer. He is talented. Why is this such... His name's Lyle Lovitz, and people freaked the fuck out. Do you remember this day?
I remember it.
What I remember is an hour ago in the car when Julie had the audacity to tell me she wasn't mad at his first album, and I was like, I'm sorry, but the music it isn't there for me.
Well, I don't even remember any of the songs. I've never been a super country person.
The thing is about the music is that it wasn't full. I mean, some of it's full country, but when he was first, the album that made him popular was more like a folk. It was like a folk country love ballad situation. I wasn't mad at it.
I'm saying if you're going to get with him because you're like, yeah, he's really talented, that's not really there either. In addition to being very unique looking.
Yes.
And I'll also want to say, with you guys, this is all on my YouTube channel. Please subscribe because I put it all up and I have all the photos. And this is youtube.com/Heather McDonald. But one thing that was really unfortunate about Julia Roberts during this time is that she went with the trend, cut off her gorgeous locks to do like a sad Jennifer Aniston short hairdo with like those barrettes that were in, and also overly tweezed the brows. So, I mean, she wasn't even looking as beautiful as she really should look.
Now the tea, though,
Yes.
because Julie found out that, or Julie's full theory on it
Okay.
is that she was with him to be safe because they're still good friends.
Okay.
Okay.
And then it was a very short-lived marriage, though. It was a
2
short.
years.
It was like a short. They weren't dating very long.
6 months.
And then they got married right away. And
2
then,
years.
Yes. But do you also remember that people were really shocked when she was about to marry Kiefer Sutherland?
That's the thing.
They were
Yeah.
both 23, and talk about like an old-fashioned Hollywood matched marriage, because literally the wedding was on a soundstage at Paramount or something. They were doing a big star-studded wedding. And I want to say she canceled it literally the day before or 2 days before.
2 days. And she went off with Jason Patrick. And then, because Julie then watched like this old Barbara Walters.
Special.
Yeah.
It's online. It's
where
really good.
She was on the outs. Julie's like, I don't know, for some reason she wasn't working then. And I go, because she fucked over Donald Sutherland's
that's
son.
why he
That's
happened.
old Hollywood royalty. So all of Hollywood was like, go fuck yourself. And then she was like, turns out, sweetie, no, I'm gonna come right back.
Yes. So, and when you know how she came back? So she went. She was sad. She wasn't working, and she had. This is in '93.
Wait, can
she
I just
married
interrupt
him.
before I forget? The rumor was that Kiefer was like a cheater with like strippers. That's what I remember hearing.
Oh, I
Shocking.
never heard
Okay,
that.
now go back. Go on. I just want to put that in there.
She
Yeah.
wasn't working and blah, blah, blah. And then she married him and whatever. She met him on a movie. But then what brought her back into her power was the movie she did with Denzel Washington.
Oh, Pelican Brief. Yes. And she grew her hair back out.
Okay, she grew her hair back out in Pelican Brief. However, when you're up for an Oscar, just like your wedding day, people, really think about what you're going to put on and what's going to look good years later. And I think her hairpiece was too fucking big. The Oscar photo, it was like this big, like 60s bouffant. Her dress was classic. It was a vintage dress. She went with the Benjamin Bratt, who was a babe, who was on Law and Order.
That's right.
And then, but people didn't enjoy her because she won the year before. She got to be the one that announces who's going to get Best Actor.
It was inappropriate.
And she made it all about her fucking self. She was like, and the winner is, oh my God, it's my best friend, Denzel. It's Denzel. Like everyone was like, all right. Like she completely made it about herself. And then it went down a little bit.
Right.
Because the rumor was that they totally boned down on the movie. And, Denzel's been married for a long time. And his wife's like super lovely. And like, yeah, like they boned down. And that's why she got her groove back, Julia Roberts.
I heard a rumor that Meryl Streep, who's been married forever to her husband, that there is like kind of an unwritten like actor rule with certain people. Like if we're on a movie set together for 2.5 months and we're playing a couple and we want to fuck, we're going to fuck. And don't ask, don't tell.
Wow.
I'm going to be married to you forever.
Meryl
But like,
Streep.
yes.
And
if you read Sally Field's book, she kind of touches on that in her own life. and
Sally Field.
and in her own experiences of being married and being an actress and getting with co-stars.
Wow.
Well, it really takes it deeper now that we know that old what's-his-face ordered the breakfast burrito in the Lincoln voice. He must
Daniel Day-Lewis.
He must definitely have had sex with her because he's
Sally
he's
Field.
so method.
Right.
And
And
they
they
were
were
married.
married.
On that movie.
Which movie was that called?
Lincoln.
No.
Lincoln.
Yeah.
No, but she played his
Mother?
No, she
Wife.
played his wife.
Wife.
She
He
did play his
called
wife.
her in the Lincoln voice, and she's like, "Bro, I'm not gonna do
I
this
don't
on
know
the
what
phone."
to do
He,
with a
he
civil
called her in
war.
character. Like,
Oh,
well, there was
but
no
in the
phone
movie,
then.
but in her book, she said she really wanted that, but it was one of those things that took a really long time to happen. So she kept thinking, okay, it's not going to happen. But she knew this was going to possibly be like her return to Oscars if this movie happened, and she got to play the part.
Well, I'm going to assume they did it.
Speaking of other times where people were horrified that a beautiful girl married someone in their mind is ugly, let me bring it back to my own mother, rest in peace, Pam McDonald.
Oh, my mom's name's Pam.
Oh, really? Anyway, obviously she came from an era where she loved JFK, loved Jackie O, loved that he was Irish Catholic, was so excited. And so then I just remember years later, I'm like, I don't know, a teenager, my mom just started to go off on that. She was horrified when Jackie O married ugly Onassis.
Oh.
Because in my mom, she was like, you went from JFK to like this little short, older man. And
I never knew what he looked like.
he's older and shorter and but super wealthy. And she kind of married him because the Kennedys were being cheap with her. The paparazzi were with her every day. She was terrified that her kids would get killed. And she also wanted to set them up for life. So he was having an affair with her sister who was married. And she screwed over her sister, Lee Gradswell, and was like, I'm going to marry you. And Lee's like, what the fuck? Like, I was going to try to get rid of this prince and marry him. But then she was like, I need this more than you. And she was like, all right.
Oh.
I never knew that.
Yes. And then she married Onassis. But to my mom was horrified by this. And my mom was horrified by Jackie O. Like, no, stick to your own kind. Like it was like, Mom, I'm like, you're not even happy that she married a super rich person. My mom's like, no, you don't go from JFK.
I'm glad. I mean, I'm sorry that your mom's not here, but I am happy she didn't have to see Mary Kate Olsen and that guy, because that is the brand new version of this. Like, wow. I mean,
they're getting divorced though,
and thank God
they're getting divorced. She is an old French man. This was kind of fun. This was Mary Kate. This was Kate plus 8, John Gosling, and I just threw this one in for fun because I came across an article of the Ed Hardy clothing line and how Ed Hardy himself said that John Gosling single-handedly buried his empire of clothes.
Really?
Yes,
because he wears that?
He wore it all the time.
That's hilarious.
Von Dutch in that.
my
I mean,
God.
Ed Hardy. Well, he's not wearing it there. Julie would do her hair like that, and
I
it was
to
it's
do
a
my hair
bummer.
sometimes like that just for fun because I can get the back to go up, and then if my hair's long enough, I can get a bang to go down.
She does it more often than I like.
Like this.
And then remember, she was so mean to him. She was always screaming at him, and he didn't know how to do that. That looks good. How she she does this.
You guys,
Oh
look,
my
it
God, you
looks
really
just-
can do it.
It looks
I
exactly
can
like
do
it.
Like,
and then-
I don't know what's wrong with having 16 kids. I think it's normal.
She'll
You know
put a
what I mean?
barrette. If she
If I could
finds a
put a
barrette
barrette
on the
here-
ground, it could be encrusted with dirt. She'll pick it up, do this hair, and put the barrette. I'm like, please don't.
And she, remember, she got all hot. She got all the plastic surgery. She got the longer hair. There was, all of that.
She did all of it because
He became a DJ.
I forgot about that.
Do you think he still has some Ed Hardy articles in his closet?
Yes.
Probably.
you?
I
I
mean,
think-
he got better looking too, didn't he? Lose some weight. I mean, the kids are gorgeous.
Yeah.
Which I mean, you wouldn't think since there's
And
so
the
many
one,
of
and the
them.
one they finally got back, the one that she sent away.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, she sent one away, and then now he's 16 and he's home with the dad.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
The kids are so beautiful.
I mean, she
Maybe
just
not
had to
16.
do.
Maybe he's 13. I don't know.
She just had to do what she needed to do. She was like, I'm on this reality show, and then they got divorced. She has 70 million kids, and she had to go and just be like, I'm going to try and be on
know who I
every
feel-
reality show that I can get on to make money.
You know who I feel sorry for? People who have multiples and don't get a reality show.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
God, why bother?
Now you're just stuck. Now you're just stuck going through some ridiculous 82 diapers a day
Oh my
or
God, I
something,
can't even-
and you aren't even on TLC.
No.
Well, Dr. Drew has those triplets, and they're natural.
They're they're natural, and they had those triplets, and I loved talking to them about it because it was before TV. And I have my former nanny. She was a triplet of 3, and her parents said that they used to have a date night, and they had a little little fence where they could the kids were in there so they could just like be in the house and like have a meal. And one kept getting out and they didn't know how they were doing it. And they were climbing on each other.
They were stacking on each
like
other.
1.5. They could get out of like their cages and stuff. And it was just like, I mean, unbelievable, like
is so
hard.
funny.
But now they're all like in their 20s. So, but yeah, it's you need a reality show to take care of this stuff.
For sure.
Okay. Jlo and Ben Affleck. I just love this time of just there was like a new Bentley every day.
He never looked better.
And then
He never looked better.
never looked better. But then all his Boston friends were like, "What the hell? Why aren't you wearing a Red Sox hat?" Because he was like doing his slick hair. She gave him some self tanner.
She got him tan immediately.
Immediately got him tan.
yeah.
Put him on a yacht. Put him in her videos where he was like slapping her ass, and they were gorgeous. But then she would like do an interview where she was like, I'm making his favorite, red beans and rice. I'm like, that's no one's favorite. Like, try to act like you're like so homey. But she does best with people that match her look, which is why I think A-Rod is a perfect match. He's equally caramel deliciousness.
Yeah. They have to be as good looking. What about Chris Judd? That was a terrible idea. He was not as good looking as her.
Well, it was, early career. First she had the waiter marriage. He was a waiter.
Oh, that's
Then she had Chris Judd.
I want you to know that I did a show with Chris Judd
Yes.
100 million years ago at a comedy club.
He's doing stand-up?
He didn't do
doing a type
stand-up,
5.
but he did do an improv show with a group, and it was Chris Judd.
I thought he was a choreographer.
He
Why did I-
is.
Okay.
And it was a. I want to say that I swear to God, Eva Longoria created with this other woman. I want to say her name is Kiki, and I think they started. It was like a Latino flared improv comedy
I completely remember it.
group. Okay.
You're 100% right.
Am I right? Okay.
Yes.
So for whatever reason, I'm on a show. I mean, and this is a long time ago.
Okay.
Chris Judd is doing a bit with a wig, and he's coming out and being like, comedy, like doing like that kind of shit. And I was like, is that Chris Judd? And also want to say that there was an extra spring to his step as well.
Interesting.
Maybe not like Meg Ryan, maybe more like a gay guy.
Okay. Do we also remember when she dated the ghost? What's his name?
Mark Anthony?
No, Casper.
Oh my God.
Who's Casper?
Casper the Friendly Ghost. She dated a guy named Casper.
Casper Van Diem?
No, Casper. That was recently.
He was
completely
kind of
wiped
a
that.
Chris Judd looking guy. I want to say he had a bald head, a great body, and there was some weird photos of him coming out of like a sex shop, which I can't believe people like still go to like a brick and mortar to like get their porn. But anyway, it was something like that, and there was some rumor, there was something unsavory about that it might have not only been a heterosexual place to get your porn or something.
Oh, right.
And
That was right before A-Rod.
Right. And she was with him, and then it was like you go through that stage where I'm like, I'm such a powerful person, I'm never going to find someone at my level, so let me find this like, great guy, Casper, who's going to like, help me with my things and be a delight. But then thank God she realized, no, I actually can have someone at my equal that wears matching clothes with me, who wants to be on Instagram as much as me, who will do a TikTok video, who won't stop, who will have 20,000 endorsements along with me.
I mean, I like that she's not a star fucker. I love that about her because as we know now, for sure, for certain, for a fact, Ben Affleck, clearly a star fucker. Has he been with one person that isn't famous? He hasn't.
You think Lindsay, who was the executive producer at SNL, was famous?
Oh, well, I mean,
you think that the girl that he was seeing before he went through the Taco Bell line?
Girls don't count.
He's
you mean
not.
while he? Are you kidding? He started with Gwyneth Paltrow. Then he's with Jennifer
so then
Garner.
maybe Jennifer Garner and he had a baby. Like she was pregnant before they got married. So I mean, I think they were like, let's make a family. And then they had 2 more kids, and that was but he cheated on her the whole time. And he cheated with the nanny.
But he cheats with not famous people, but the only people that he brings out to the paparazzi are always famous. That girl now, like what she was on
model or
Knives
something,
Out
right?
or something.
Oh, she's an actress?
Yeah.
Oh
then
yeah.
Yeah.
She. Well, now I feel like her career is being helped by being with him.
True, but she was nominated for Academy Award, and all of a sudden he's dating her. I'm
But
like,
this
you
is
tool.
like pre-alcohol, pre-back tattoo. This was. I always talk about my hottest time with Ben Affleck was when he was in The Town.
God,
He
that's a
was-
good
Was
movie.
that
He was
during this?
I think it was maybe like right after or something, but it's like he's fit, he's a gangster, but a really good boyfriend. Like I loved it.
Yeah, that movie's really good.
This is Chris Judd.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Whoa, look at
there
J-Lo.
he is.
Wow. Whoa. Wow.
She has a little barrette.
What is going on with that outfit?
Oh my God, someone just posted the worst outfits, and they were from the early 2000s. Does anyone remember the worst trend ever? Dress over a pair of flared jeans. Like, could you have more material on your body? The worst in the history of the worst. I remember Kelly Clarkson loved that look.
Yeah.
Ugh.
If we at Fashion Police, we would look at like old pictures of
Oh, my God.
Juliana Rancic, like on the
God.
on like the red carpet, and I was like, oh, girl. Just the 2000s are hard. There's
There was just
nothing
a
classic.
horrible time, and it was
Yeah.
like the worst for my body because it was always like a low rider bohemian skirt, which like I don't have a good stomach, but you're supposed to like. But if you had like really good pelvic bones and short legs, that was the way to go, which is the complete opposite of my body, with like a beaded belt. Just a satin camisole, which again, just like is a very demanding material for an imperfect body.
Which is this is what J-Lo's in right now.
Yeah.
It's that satiny.
Ugh.
The worst. Look, she's trying.
Why
She doesn't
this?
know. She
That
doesn't
is,
know.
I have never.
Let's get into this. Was some juice. Hugh Grant. He was an English, hilarious, romantic comedic star with Elizabeth Hurley. They were England's hot couple, but in America, everyone loved them. And he was caught with Divine Brown, who at the time we had streetwalkers back then. What they called them. They were sex workers, but they actually walked the streets and then would come over and be like, "Hey, you want a date?" And then he said yes, and she got in the car and he paid her for a blowjob. And a cop came up while they were in the act. Okay.
She's very attractive.
Totally pretty.
I don't even remember that. And meanwhile, I'm like, yeah, I'd get a blowjob from her.
And
For sure.
everyone's like, "Oh my God." But what did he do? Got out there and went on The Tonight Show and just came out and was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and everyone like, "Oh, that's right. You got a sex worker who was walking the streets at 4 a.m. to blow you." Boop, ba-doop, ba-doop. Like, I mean, it is just unbelievable. And he's
Unbelievable.
like, "Sorry," and and it was kind of like this weird, different PR move to be like, just be honest about it. And then I remember Eddie Murphy. I don't know if it happened before or after he got caught with a sex worker in his car at 4 a.m. However, she was, I don't know what the word was at the time, but she was transgender. So she was dressed as a woman, appeared to be a woman, but she in fact had a penis, okay, intact. And so that was a very controversial, again, picking up a sex worker, but the fact that the sex
He
worker
said he was
chose,
giving her a ride.
he said he was.
On the
He
net.
said at 4 a.m. he wanted to get some newspapers at a newspaper stand.
Newspaper.
As
And
you do.
this girl waved him down and was like, "Can you give me a ride, down the street?" And he's a good Samaritan, and he did. And I remember I asked, I don't want to say who I'll ask, but I asked some men that were friends with him throughout the years, and I said, "What do you think? Do you think he's gay? Do you think he's this? Or do you think he's into some freaky shit?" I think he's into some freaky shit. That was it. Because he's got on, he had 2 more wives, 2 more babies. He's on like baby number, I don't know, 12. And he's with, his new beautiful blonde wife. But anyway, again, he just went with the denying. Hugh Grant was like, "You saw her mouth on my dick." She went on, she was one of the first people move over Kylie Jenner. She had a lipstick line. Yes, she did. Divine lipstick.
Probably because of this mugshot, because she's giving it to you in this mugshot
Yeah.
with a red shirt and the pop of red lip.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
don't know
listen,
where
after
she
the
is
blowjob,
today,
she certainly reapplied the lipstick.
But somebody was like, "Hey, you want to get a lipstick line?" And she said, "Yes, I do."
I remember thinking, you know, even then I was thinking, you know what? I like that he just got a regular. I'm glad he didn't go to like Heidi Fleiss and need some. I just liked that he was just
He was
down
on
to
the
earth.
street and he was
Yeah.
just doing it and he just.
But
yeah.
also because it was just immediate, though. I mean, Heidi Fleiss is, which I'm an expert on that. We can get into that another day. But that, you know, that involved a phone number. We didn't have iPhones.
Right.
You had to actually have a phone written down.
And
She
a
had to arrange
beeper.
it. You had to go to the Beverly Wilshire. You had to, you know, whatever. There was more involved.
I see.
This was just like, and obviously, this wasn't the first time he's done this.
No,
Pretty bad luck if you
Right.
get caught the very first time.
Yeah.
He went on to still do some movies, but never the height that he was.
Right.
You know?
Did you think he was hot?
I thought he had way too many wrinkles around. He was one of those young people that always had like wrinkles around his eyes, which
Yeah.
is just hereditary. And they just got deeper and went longer and deeper into his cheeks. And that sort of bothered me.
Yeah.
But I
did
thought
you?
he was charming.
I think he's funny and charming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He was
I
very
s-
appealing in those movies, in those 90s
Yeah, like
movies.
he's sweet and non-threatening, and he has a British accent, and he seems like, I don't know, like he's just nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I like him more now.
Yeah, I saw him in a he's in this new movie with Matthew McConaughey where he plays a gay gangster, and it's
is
the
this
best
called?
thing he's ever done.
What movie is this?
It's called The Gentleman.
Oh, I heard of
And
that.
It's he's super gay, but super gangstery, super pervy.
Is
super,
it supposed to be this year, like
it's
modern
this
times?
Yeah,
or-
it's this year. It's a movie that came and went on.
but it is
demand.
modern times. It's not old fashioned.
It's now.
Okay.
It's now. It's not a good. But he's so good in it, and so it's just good to see him now. He's older. He's
Yeah.
salt and pepper. He's got a little facial hair. He just does this thing where he's like super gay and like a creep, where it's just good. It's just.
All right. Well,
Interesting
good
and
for
fun.
him. I'm sure he's thrilled that we brought him up today. Okay. So,
Especially in that capacity.
yes, exactly. So, Brandy and Julie, your life has changed since being on Juicy Scoop.
It's true.
People,
It wasn't our first time, Heather.
I know it wasn't, but this last time it was like people were losing their minds. People made Chris Frangiola very jealous. He did not like hearing that. Chris, thank God, will be here next week.
He
on
doesn't have
Tuesday.
anything to be threatened by. He's hilarious
Yeah.
and beloved, and we would never. We're beneath him.
I have
in
to
every way.
You know how you have certain children. It's like he's the sensitive one. We have to
Yeah.
make sure he's okay.
Well, just tell him everyone on your Facebook group hates us.
Oh, no,
And then he'll feel better.
so for people that want to get more of you, tell them.
We have a podcast called Dumb Gay Politics. That's a free podcast anywhere you get your podcast. We also have a Patreon podcast where we have no content and we just talk about weird stuff like Julie's IBS and like just the most random, but it's
Yeah.
not political.
No, we
You know
do.
what I mean?
We
Yeah.
talk about every single thing under the sun except politics. And Dumb Gay Politics is a political podcast, but don't be afraid. Try it out. If you don't like politics, we could potentially be the podcast that you may enjoy just for that reason.
It's a podcast for people who watch Bravo and don't watch the news.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I thoroughly enjoy you, and
We thoroughly
you.
enjoy you. We loved
Yeah.
your special.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you.
And everyone needs to watch that.
yeah, absolutely. Before you watch Gia. And
And before you watch any other comedy
and
special.
Poison Ivy.
And Poison Ivy. That's right. God, we have so much to do this week.
today.
Thank you, girls. I love you.
Thank you.
Love you.
Bye.